Welcome to the first phase of Zero to Infinity, an interview series organized by the Entrepreneurs Club of Royal College aimed at looking into the business world or the entrepreneurs world and gaining an insight for young royalists. Today I'm joined by Mr. Anushka Polonowita. How are you doing, sir?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me on this program.
Thank you very much for joining us, sir. How would you like to introduce yourself to our students at Royal College?
Well, yeah, so I'm Anushka Polonowita. I was the head prefect in 1997. I captained cricket and tennis at college. I have colors for three sports, cricket, tennis and athletics. So I've mainly known for the sporting background. And yes, and since leaving college, I've held many posts in the RCU at various levels. So yeah, so that could be a brief form of introduction to myself.
Thank you, sir. And seeing that you have had a long journey at Royal College and were the head prefect at Royal College, do you think it influenced your later life in any way, sir, or your entrepreneurship?
Absolutely. I think being the head prefect was just the thing, but being a prefect at Royal College, to work with all the leaders of sports clubs and societies in academics, and to work with a group leading them, taught me a lot of aspects in my today's career. It was a privilege to actually lead the Prefects Council of Royal College, and yeah, many lessons. I think in teamwork, collaboration, understanding different strengths of people and working together for a common objective. And I think that's what has helped in every other thing that I've done in my corporate world.
It indeed must have been a real pleasure, sir, to lead the Prefects Council of Royal College. And seeing that you were tied down with sports, rooted down to cricket, tennis, athletics, what was the transition like, or what inspired you to go on to entrepreneurship?
I think entrepreneurship later in my corporate world was sort of something that didn't really plan to, but I think it is the to answer your question. I think the sport gave me a lot of learnings in the corporate world. I was in the automobile industry for the longest time, and to go up the corporate ladder, what sports taught me helped me to get to that. And in entrepreneurship, I mean, taking a risk, and when I started a couple of entities in two completely different spheres, I think the core learnings from sports in terms of handling pressure, focusing on what you need to do, commitment, dedication, all those little things helped me to grow and to become where I am today, I think.
You mentioned handling pressure, sir, and it's something that you would have experienced a lot in sport, but also in the business world. And what is one thing that you do to deal with that? Is there anything special?
Uh, Pressure, I mean, I've been somebody who thrives under pressure. I think pressure is something that you put onto yourself when you lack self confidence, and the confidence comes in knowing what you are doing. And if you have, learned, and you know what you ought to know in particular situation or industry or whatever that you do, that builds confidence. And when you have confidence, the pressure is something that is just that comes along. So I think it's a kind of a cyclical thing. So I think that so sport has taught me that, and therefore pressure is something that I don't really consider much in day-to-day activity.
It's good to hear, sir.
It's easy to say,
Yeah.
but it takes a while to mature into it, I guess. Yeah.
And leadership wise, so you've led teams, you've led Royal College sports on the field as well as companies as an entrepreneur. What is one thing, or how do you develop that leadership, or what is one leadership trait that really shines out, sir?
So leadership, when you say leadership, it's got a lot of facets to it. But to me, leadership has been understanding the strengths and the weaknesses of my team, or the team members, and how I have led is whilst understanding the strengths and the weaknesses, I managed to get the best out of people in different ways, because once you know the elements of each individual, it's easy to motivate them and guide them to grow. So I think it has been the people management of it in terms of leadership, and also when I'm whatever I do, I try to learn a lot about what I have to do. So I can always lead rather than getting people to do it. So whatever the strengths that they possess that I don't, I reach out and with mutual respect manage to get the better out of them as well. I think that has been the success factor.
Yes, sir. And so, could you walk us through your corporate world very briefly? What you do as an entrepreneur in your day-to-day life?
Yeah, so my corporate world, I joined Demos, the Mercedes-Benz company, almost straight out of school. That was while I was playing professional cricket as well. So I mean, then I've moved on to microcars, Audi, and so on. So I will touch on the entrepreneurship in terms of building auto visit enterprises and wellness solutions, private limited. So uh, myself and my partner, business partner Yasas, and my wife, we started automobile trading company, Auto Wizard Enterprises. So that was with all the learnings and the experiences that I've had in the automobile industry. I brought it into, developing a very customer focused used car trading platform. And then at the same time, we also formed Wellness Solutions, where we introduced sports supplements, electrolytes, hydration, energy kind of thing, because we saw a gap in the market for that kind of nutrition for sport. I think sports skill development training has come, but nutrition is something that was lacking in Sri Lankan sports. So I saw that opportunity and therefore ventured into it. So that in terms of entrepreneurship, I think that is where understanding the gap in the market in the automobile industry, the gap we saw was the personalization. Because there's this notion of a typical car salesman is a person who lies a lot, but we've we've evolved, and I think the success factor was we've always been honest and open about what we are doing, what cars, about sales and things like that. So that was the confidence that we built over the years with the clients, and the trust that built that made us successful in terms of the wellness solution company. I think we identified a need in the market, the opportunity, and I think we're very happy. I mean, it was more of a sort of a educating kind of building awareness kind of operation. It was not merely to make money out of it, and I think we've been fairly successful in educating. And now you see many products in the market, and actually athletes and sportsmen using proper hydration, proper, because there's so many stuff in the market, and it's very important to understand and know what is good and bad. And you see, I mean, even at rugby, at cricket, and most of the sports at Royal also, they're using proper good quality products. So I think that is it's self-satisfying that we were able to kind of introduce that kind of products into the market.
Really great, sir. And so you've ventured into different fields across different markets. What do you think about taking risks in general, sir?
I think, yeah, so I mean, the principle of high risk, high reward is always there. So I think you always need to take a risk, a calculated risk in life. Whatever you do, it may be, what career path or sport or whatever. Risk is something that one needs to take in order to grow in one's, line of work. So, but I think a lot of people, get people get sort of the mistake they make is that they take undue risk, not taking calculated risk. They're just taking risk for the sake of taking risk. So I think that's where you need to sometimes be patient and aware of what the consequences of it when you're taking risks. And so, as an entrepreneur, I think a lot of people think everything is easy. Don't look at the full picture of that industry or the capabilities of oneself or financial status, and then you take undue risk and get into trouble. So it has to be always a calculated risk. Is very important, especially in entrepreneurship, because it's easy to, I mean, as young kids, I think it's easy to want to be the Elon Musks or the Dhammika Perras of the world, but you only hear the success stories, but there's so many failures which don't come into and you don't learn about it. So it's very important that you take calculated risks, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, because that's where you deal with money and your wealth or your character or your personality. So it has to be properly done in order to be successful.
This is something really important, especially to our generation, because yes, as you said, the only stories we hear of are the Elon Musks and the Damika Pereiras, and there are so many that go unnoticed.
Right.
So, if there was one challenge, or what has your biggest challenge been over the years as an entrepreneur? What's your biggest challenge, sir?
Challenge has been, I mean, in the Sri Lankan market, dynamics is always, we've had various challenges. So in terms of entrepreneurship, actually to venture into a business and seeing the economic stability has always been a challenge. And the other biggest challenge is I've been fairly risk averse. So I think that that risk element of it also has been something that has been challenging, and also in entrepreneurship again the financial aspect of it is always a challenge in the country in terms of funding for new product development or ideas, innovation. I think unlike in the developed world, in Sri Lanka, that's something that has been a challenge for many people as well as for me in terms of finding funding and the capital to start or do something that one needs. So that's something I think is inherent to a developing country, and for Sri Lanka, which has faced many obstacles in many ways, it's always been a challenge. I think that's my view of it.
It's a very wise view. And um, moving into the end of our interview today, sir, is would you like to relay one story in your life that has made you grow, maybe as an entrepreneur or a person, a particular incident that happened that made you grow as a character, sir?
Uh, I can't
Maybe
actually
at school
pinpoint
or
one particular incident, but I think the journey through Royal College, playing multiple sports, being with different characters, different people from different walks of life, has helped me understand myself, my capabilities, as well as how to work with others. And I think, as I said at the beginning, leading the Prefects Council was probably one of the um, uh, biggest changes in my life towards the corporate world, working with like-minded leaders in the council and understanding how to manage capable people who are also leaders and to lead them. I think that's something that I could probably relate to as one of the significant sort of points in my life in going into the corporate world. And I today look back and some of the things that we've done, organized, managed, always remind me of those learnings. And I think that's probably one thing that I mean there have been many incidents, but I think one important thing was that and also the beauty of it is that at the time, because we did all that with a lot of pride for college and for a purpose with no real return. So I think therefore the learnings were more special, and the challenges were very, when you look back, quite interesting, and came out of it.
And they say that this is the best part of our life. Do you think that's true, sir?
For sure, no doubt. I think it is because once you go into the corporate world, you're out there on your own. In school, you have that belonging, you have the friendship, and so therefore, I think there's a lot of sort of positivity, energy, and good times. But when you go into the corporate world, you tend to be isolated, and you are your own master, and then you need to do so. Therefore, I think after a period of time, you build friendships and things like that. But that 13, 14 years at Royal College was very special for me.
Thank you, sir. And finally, sir, what would the message that you would like to give out to entrepreneurs or students who want to aspire to be entrepreneurs, sir?
Uh, Not to hold back, take calculated risks, learn financial management before you go into a business. I think that's another key thing, because you probably know a particular subject or industry, or you've learned something, but a lot of people, the mistake they do is don't learn the financial management part of business and venture into businesses, and then they fail. So I think my key takeaways are: take calculated risks, do venture out, but be cautious of financial management before you start a enterprise or business.
Thank you for that advice, sir. I'm sure it's going to be useful for that. That wraps up our first session of Zero to Infinity 2025. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us
You're
and
most
for
welcome.
sharing your insight.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me once again.
Thank you. Have a pleasant day.